We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello friends, myself Assistant Professor Partham Mistry from Electrical Engineering Department of Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. Friends, today we discuss about our topic, that is lasers. So what is laser? Where it is used? What are the types of lasers? So in this video we discuss about one type of the lasers. First of all, full name of the laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. A laser is a device which produces highly directional light. It emits the light through a process called stimulated emission of radiation, which increases the intensity of light. Stimulated emission means excited emission. The atoms are excited to its high energy level. So stimulated emission of radiation which increase the intensity of light. There are many more types of lasers are used. Lasers are classified into 4 types based on the types of the laser medium used. Which medium is used in laser, so according to that type will be decided. So according to the medium use, there are 4 types of lasers. Number 1, that is solid state laser, or we can say ruby laser. Number 2, that is gas laser, in which the helium neon gas is used. Number 3 is liquid laser, and number 4 is semiconductor laser. Semiconducting material is used as a medium. So in this video, friends, we know about the ruby laser, its construction, its working, its application, advantage, disadvantage, etc. So friends, this is the construction of ruby laser. So the construction of ruby laser consists the 5 major parts. Number 1, that is the acting medium of the ruby laser, that is ruby crystal, which is in the form of ruby rod. So this ruby rod is the mixture of aluminum oxide and chromium oxide. We can see this one, this whole ruby rod is placed over here. So ruby rod is a mixture of aluminum oxide and chromium oxide. So another major part is its reflecting mirrors. So on the both end of the ruby rod, 2 mirrors are placed. We can clearly see in the figure, that is partially reflecting mirror and fully reflecting mirror. The fully reflecting mirror is connected nearby the right hand side of the ruby laser, and partially reflecting mirror cause the 10% transmission and 90% reflection, which is put on the another side of the rod. So this is called as a resonator cavity. So apart from that, we can achieve the laser beam on the secondary side. Another major important system is the pumping system. So to achieve the population inversion, it is necessary, the population inversion is necessary for the generation of laser light, or we can say lasing action. So optical pumping is achieved with the use of quartz flash tube, which is the helical and wound on the ruby rod. So basically a xenon flash lamp is used which emits the light and which make the active the atom from the ground state to the excited state, which is connected to the power supply, which is supplies the power to this xenon flash lamp. So whenever the chromium ion gets the energy from this light which is comes from the xenon tube, it will be achieve some of energy and put itself into the excited state from the ground state. So friends, this is the construction of ruby laser. So initially 4 parts. First of all, ruby crystal, which is in the form of ruby rod, which is in the solid state. So we can say the solid state laser also. Another is reflecting mirrors. There are partially reflecting mirrors and fully reflecting mirrors. Another is quartz flash tube, or we can say xenon flash lamp tube, which is used to excite the atoms, and the power supply is needed for the generation of light. So friends, this is all about the construction of ruby lasers. Now we go for the working of ruby laser. So friends, this is the working of ruby laser. So whenever the power supply is on, the xenon lamp emits the thousands of joules of energy in few milliseconds, and that energy will achieved by the chromium ions from the ground state. The chromium ion which absorb the 0.85 micrometer component of the flashlight, which will goes to the 4F2 layer, or we can say it's green band. The chromium ion which absorb the 0.42 micrometer component of the flashlight from the xenon lamp, which will be reached to the blue band, or we can say 4F1 layer. So this is the energy consumed by the chromium ion. In it will be reached to the some of ions reach to the green band and some of will be reached to the blue band. So the excitation of chromium ion is done by the xenon lamp, and in this state the ions are stay very small duration. So time for that duration is very small, that is 10⁻⁻8 seconds. So apart from that, these ions are goes to the metastable state. So this is the metastable state. So there is a very small distance between the two layers. So the ions from the blue band comes to the upper part of the metastable state, and ions from the green band reaches to the lower level of the metastable state. So during this process, there is no radioactive nature we get of the flashlight, or there is no laser beam achieved during this portion. So whenever the ions are reached to the this layer, so the ions are stay over here about the 10⁻³ second. This process is very fast and non-radioactive. Now whenever the ions are again comes from the ground state to the excited state and to the metastable state. So whenever from the metastable state the ions are comes to the ground state, so it will be emits the photons. So here we can see that from the two layers photons are achieved, which is in the form of laser beams. So these photons are traveled from the reflecting mirror and partial reflecting mirror. So in that tube, so in that cylindrical rod, number of photons are travels, and same wavelength photons are come out from the other side, and we can achieve the laser beam on the secondary side. So population inversion are achieved, more number of chromium ions are excited and comes to the metastable state. So the population inversion are achieved and lasing action is done, and from that we can achieve the laser beam on the secondary side, and finally the ions are come to the ground state, and this process will be repeated. So this is the working of ruby laser. Now the advantages of ruby laser. So friends, ruby lasers are economical. Beam diameter of the ruby laser is comparatively less than the CO2 laser, or we can say gas laser. Third one is that output power of ruby laser is not as less as helium neon gas laser. Output power is more than the helium neon gas laser. And fourth one, that is, since the ruby is in the solid form, therefore there is no chance of wasting material. So this is the advantages of ruby laser. Now friends, disadvantages of the ruby laser, that is, efficiency of ruby laser is comparatively low. Second one is that optical cavity of ruby laser is short as compared to other lasers. The application of ruby lasers, it is used in toys for children. Number two, that is, it can be used in schools, colleges, universities for the science programs. And the third one is that it can be used as a decoration piece and artistic display. So friends, this is all about the ruby laser, its construction, its working, advantage, disadvantage and application. Thank you.